What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Culico YouTube channel, where we do all things fabrication, engineering, and design. Today's video, we're gonna shift gears a little bit and we're gonna be talking about MotoGP. The biggest topic in the sport right now is which rider is gonna end up with that second factory Ducati spot in 2025, and I'm gonna give you my prediction. Just to give you some context, the factory Ducati seat is the most valuable position for a rider in MotoGP today. Factory Ducati has been dominating the World Championship the last several years, both with their factory team and their satellite team. Now, in 2024, the margins are getting slimmer. We're seeing strong potential out of other manufacturers such as Aprilia and KTM. Factory Ducati are the current world champions. They hang the #1 plate with rider Pecco Bagnaia. However, their second seat is opening up in 2025. And there's 3 riders being considered. The first rider is the current seat holder, Enea Bastianini. Last year in 2023, he struggled with crashes and injuries, and it resulted in a less than desirable championship. However, this year in 2024, he's showing signs of speed. He's currently 4th in the standings, and last week in Le Mans, he went on a hunt in the GP and took 3 seconds out of the leaders, and his fastest lap was 3/10 faster than any other rider. I do think the factory is still considering keeping him aboard in that second spot. Second rider being considered is Jorge Martin. He currently rides for Prima Primac, a satellite Ducati team who's been wildly successful the last couple years. Martin has been so quick, winning sprint races and Grand Prix. He was on his way to winning the World Championship last year and missing out by just a little bit to Pecco Bagnaia due to some crashes and mistakes. But this year in 24, he is on fire. Early in the season, he's won multiple Tissot sprints, 2 Grand Prix, and he leads the World Championship by 38 points. And with that kind of speed, Martin is certainly looking to graduate from the satellite team and get into that factory spot. I think if you're Ducati and you're looking at the speed from the last 2 seasons, it'd be hard to bet against Jorge Martin. Now, for that third rider being considered, it's none other than 8-time world champion Marc Marquez. If you follow MotoGP at all, you know that Marc Marquez is the most outstanding talent of our time. He's in the same league as a Valentino Rossi. As you may know, Marquez and Repsol Honda went on a streak of success, winning races and world championships, and then the tide shifted. For some reason, the last couple seasons, HRC has just been off pace. Marquez was really struggling with crashes and injuries and just not having the success that he was used to. He made the tough decision to leave Repsol Honda, and now in 2024, he signed with Gresini Racing, a satellite Ducati team, and he's showing wicked signs of speed. Still early in the season, but it might be safe to say that the old Marquez is back. He's been on the podium multiple times in the Tissot sprints and the Grand Prix. He was leading the race briefly at Circuit of Americas before, unfortunately, he tucked the front and crashed out. And last week in Le Mans, he came from 12th to 2nd in the Tissot sprint, and he came from 12th to 2nd in the Grand Prix. And let me point out, the bike he's riding is the 23 spec Ducati, which is last year's bike. This year, the factory Ducati team is riding a new 2024 spec bike. Now, the 23 spec bike is good. They won the World Championship on it. But I can assure you, the 24 spec bike that the factory team has is better. And I must say, and I think I'm speaking for a lot of MotoGP fans here, it's been a lot of fun watching Marc Marquez sign with a Ducati satellite team and catch his stride and start having success again. So, we have Enea, Jorge, and Marc, the 3 riders being considered for this highly desirable 2025 factory Ducati seat. Before I give you my prediction, I must preface by saying I like all the riders in the field. I'm a MotoGP fan, and there's a lot of different riders on different teams that have their own merits and have won races and shown speed. This particular video is about the Ducati seat. We got to choose which rider we think is going to get it. In a few weeks' time, around Mugello, Ducati management is going to make their decision. And I think the number 93, the 8-time world champion, Marc Marquez. And here's why. Obviously, this is just my opinion, and I can't speak with certainty. I think Marc Marquez jumping on this 23 spec Gresini Racing Ducati has shown the MotoGP world and reconfirmed that he's still the top rider in this sport. I think the way he is acclimated to this bike, starting the season just a few races in, leading races, beating the factory guys on the podium, going from 12th to 2nd in Le Mans, showing us that maybe with a factory bike, like in 2025 with the best equipment and a little more time under his belt, he will be consistently winning races and more world championships. Crazy part is this year in 2024 on the Gresini 23 spec Ducati, he might win the world championship. He's third in the standings right now, but he's been at the front every week and there's still like 15 races to go. I even think this year he's got his sights set on a championship. In addition to that, Marc Marquez has a giant fan base, an 8-time world champion, and he has a following. We live in the land of social media now, and I think the last time I checked, Marc has like 7 million followers on Instagram versus Enea and Jorge, which I think are sub 1 million, which I know that shouldn't matter, but we live in a world where that's relevant. I think if you're Ducati, you're looking at this massive fan base and 7 million followers, that's gonna help sell Ducati motorcycles. Now, nothing against Enea or Jorge, they're both amazing riders, but I think the factory Ducati spot in 2025 is gonna go to Marc Marquez. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I appreciate you watching. I hope you're able to learn something about MotoGP today. If you don't follow the sport, I encourage you to check it out, as I think you'd really enjoy it. As always, I'm rooting for you on your fabrication and engineering journey, and we'll see you next time on the Coleco YouTube channel. See you later.